Okay. All right. So let's move to the webinar. Right. So in terms of sleep, let's first discuss why sleep is necessary. We all talk about sleep. Let's also know why is it necessary, right? First is, of course, we need to rest. If we do not sleep, we will not be able to rest. And that will hamper our ability to do every other task that we want to do, right? So because we have limited energy and we want to conserve our energy, so it provides us an option for rest and recuperation, right? Additionally, sleep is also responsible for many physiological functions as well, right? So I'm sure you must have heard about assimilation of nutrients which happen while we are sleeping, right? Similarly, there are many other physiological functions such as hormone regulation. This also happens during sleep and so on, right? And then it also helps us to manage our mental health, one of our major concerns, which includes things like consolidating memory, mood regulation, helping us build our focus and concentration, and so on. So let me write it as uh, psychology, right? Does anybody want to add any other function to this? Although sleep is necessary for many other things, but if anybody of you wants to add anything, then you can add. Otherwise, these are good enough to move ahead. It is also important for building our motivation, for as already written mood regulation, right? Even for general emotional stability also, and others. Take care. So I have a very disengaged audience right now, but that's fine. All right. Okay. So now that we have discussed why sleep necessary, now let's talk about why do we experience issues with our sleep? What are the most common reasons why we are unable to sleep properly, right? Okay. So first of all, the most common reason that we are not able to sleep is because we are actively trying to sleep. So this means, well, let's talk about sleep in general, and then we can come to what are the issues that there are when it comes to sleep. Okay. Sleep, some general considerations. Okay. So first is that we need to recognize that sleep is a passive activity, right? It is something that we do passively, like we do not really do anything when it comes to sleep. Sleep often happens to us, isn't it? Is that correct? Would you agree to that? All right. And you must have noticed that people who often say that they generally do not have issues with falling asleep. They would generally say that they can go, like, that they can just simply go to bed and they can fall asleep. They don't really try hard when it comes to sleeping, right? So this is a very important thing to remember, that we do not need to try hard when it comes to sleep, right? The harder we will try to fall asleep, the difficult it will get for us to be actually able to fall asleep. Okay. So remember that sleep is a passive activity, and we have to enter a state of passivity in order to be able to sleep better. So the idea is not that we are trying to make ourselves fall asleep. The idea is to make ourselves passive enough so that sleep can happen to us automatically. Is the distinction clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, right? So just to reiterate, we have to allow ourselves to fall asleep and not try hard to try, right? Now, and as I mentioned already, that when it comes to sleep strategies, most of these sleep strategies are focused on helping you enter a state of passivity. So once you're passive, you have a conducive environment within you to able to fall asleep easily, right? So now, having said this, now let's come to what are the difficulties that we or the challenges that we face when it comes to falling asleep and why it happens. One reason is because we are actively trying to fall asleep. This is one of the major reasons why a lot of people they say that I go to bed at 11 a.m. at 10 a.m. and so on. But they say that they're just not able to fall asleep until let's say 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. when they naturally feel passive enough and they go off to sleep, right? So okay. So again, like because lying in bed is one thing, but actually becoming passive enough is second thing, right? A lot of people are there who would lie on bed trying hard to fall asleep so that they are able to so that they can sleep on time and they can wake up on time, while on the contrary what they actually need to do is to actually become more passive and allow sleep to happen to them, right? Secondly, at times, oh sorry, I did not realize it. At times we go into a thought pattern, especially before sleeping, uh, where we experience some emotional where we experience some where we have certain emotional experience. Let's write this way, where we have certain emotional experience, right? So here a lot of you would have noticed that while throughout the day you might or might not be productive, but especially when you go off to sleep, when you lie down on your bed wanting to fall asleep, a lot of you would feel that I go into a thought pattern where I'm just thinking about all the negative things that have happened in my life. My brain will keep reminding me of all the wrong decisions that I've taken, and it will keep making me feel bad. And because of all these things that are going on in my mind, I just cannot fall asleep, right? There's so many things happening within our mind, and especially if they're emotionally charged in any way, whether it is positive, whether it is negative, it makes it difficult for us to fall asleep. So let me clear this out as well. These emotional experiences could be negative, where where we are going into a negative thought pattern, where we have all the regrets, all the guilt, uh, all the frustrations coming up in our mind. It could even be positive. Let's say I'm very excited about something that is to happen next day, and that excitement in itself is keeping me from sleeping, right? So things like excitement, things like curiosity about something, even these things prevent us from sleeping. Have you experienced some of these things? where there are either very, very negative experiences or very, very positive experiences which are hindering our ability to fall asleep. Guys, I want all of you to be a little more interactive.
Yes,
Okay, I'm
ma'am.
receiving yes. I'm receiving some yes comments on the chat. All right. ठीक है. So एक तो ये चीज हो गई. Then there are certain times sleep issues also arise out of our own life challenges. So let's say if in our lives we are experiencing some conflicts, if there are certain chronic stressors in our life, right? Uh, if there are certain problems that we are facing in our life, what we do, we try to find answers to our questions or to our problems when we are trying to sleep, right? Let's say somebody broke up with you, right? And now when you're lying on your bed, you are thinking all the things that can, like, all the things that might have gone wrong because of which the other person has broken up with you, right? And having these kinds of thoughts where we are just like, where we are trying to solve a problem in our life, and we really want to find a solution to like the challenges that we are facing in the life, and that keeps us from sleeping. Why? Because finding an answer to a challenge is a very active process, and if you're doing anything which is very, very active, it will naturally stop you from experiencing sleep, right? Has anybody experienced this thing where they feel while they're falling asleep, they feel sometimes they're seeking solutions to the challenges that they're currently going through, and that stops them from sleeping. It can even happen in terms of exam also, let's say somebody has a mains, for people who have mains, they might feel that I have exam coming up, and I have so much syllabus to still to be revised, and they're creating strategies within their mind while they're on their bed, and so on. It just creates more and more activeness within our mind and stops us from falling asleep. On Monday, I have my exam and facing the same issue. See, so again, this all of these things are happening where we are actively trying to find answers, which are obviously which are hindering us from feeling that positive, that passivity, right? Now, there are also certain health conditions which might hinder your ability to sleep. So there are certain hormonal issues that might stop you from sleeping well. There are other kinds of there are a lot of health conditions which might have lack of sleep as one of the components. So I'll not go into a lot of detail about this because I'm sure your doctor, if you have any of these health conditions, your doctor would have any which way informed you, right? The other thing that also happens is sometimes people with certain specific mental disorders might also experience either lack of sleep or excessive sleep. So things like depression. So uh, I really want to make a distinction here. When I'm talking about mental disorders and I'm talking about depression or anxiety, do not self-label yourself. That okay, just because let's say I feel like I'm not able to sleep, or I feel like okay, I sleep so much, that means I have depression. So please do not label yourself. Not a good idea, right? So this is just one of the many symptoms that have to be present there for you to be actually diagnosed as depressed. So do not self-label yourself. Okay, just because I have one symptom within me, so I'm saying you okay, like this means I might be depressed. Or let's say if I'm feeling depressed and unable to sleep, that means I have this disorder, or I have clinical disorder, clinical depression. So no, just one or two symptoms are never enough for us to be able to diagnose anything. And I highly recommend all of you to not go into that kind of analysis where you're self-diagnosis, diagnosing yourself, right? But I'm just mentioning these here so that you know, okay, you should just have that knowledge. Okay, these are also issues that might be there. So depression, bipolar disorder, What's spelling? Etc. So these are also certain challenges which might have disturbed sleep as one of the components. It could be either a lack of sleep, or it could either be hypersomnia. So like, sleeping a lot. So it could be either insomnia or hypersomnia, any which ways, right? And then a newer reason that has now been emerging with respect to sleep is screen time, excessive screen time for that matter, right? So watching Netflix, watching YouTube videos, watching reels when we want to sleep, attending these webinars at 10:40 p.m. So all these reasons are also there. So I'm really sorry for the for keeping you guys awake till 10:40 p.m. I'm really sorry. I'll try to I'll try to be more quick from here. Okay. So yeah, so excessive screen time is again a issue that has come up, in these years, where a lot of people are not able to fall asleep because of the excessive screen time that they have. And specifically, if the screen time that you have is more related to watching something which is evoking certain emotions within you, then it becomes even difficult to fall asleep. So let's say you were watching a TV series which ended on a note where where when web series which end on a cliffhanger, where you're just so excited and you just cannot wait for the next season to begin soon, and you're just very very curious. Okay, what will happen now? It is such a big thing that has happened, and it was such a big climax, and there's so much excitement, there's so much curiosity, and all of these, there's a lot of suspense. All of these will prevent us from falling asleep on time, right? Similarly, if we are watching something which evokes a lot of negative emotion, so let's say you watch news, and that news was a very very negative, very very saddening news that was coming up on at night. You watch that news, and now those residual emotions are have become more excited, that those negative emotions have become really active within you, and that might again hinder you from falling asleep. So watching anything which evokes certain emotions will specially make it even harder for you to be able to fall asleep. A lot of people say that, okay, I'll watch a movie and then I'll automatically fall asleep, but that will happen only if you're watching a very boring movie. If you're watching something which is very exciting, which is keeping you engaged, which is keeping you on toes, then I really find, I'm not sure how well is it going to help you to fall asleep. So yeah. All right. So now let's discuss certain strategies. Okay, so just one word of caution that I want to mention before this. If at all you have a doubt that you might have any mental disorder or any sleep issues arising out of a mental disorder, please visit a psychiatrist first. Before any other mental health professional, please visit a psychiatrist first, right? Do not self-diagnose yourself. Do not self-medicate yourself. Uh, and even while these strategies might help you to overcome at least some of the sleep issues that you might be facing, but if it is concerned with any of the mental disorders, it is still a better idea to go and meet a psychiatrist first. And at the same time, you might still apply all these strategies that we're discussing, right? But just wanted to give a heads up before we move ahead. All right. So now let's come to strategies that we can implement in order to sleep better. Okay. So the first thing that we talked about was that we need to enter a state of passivity, right? Or even before that, the most central thing that we need to do in order to sleep well is to manage our stress, or manage the conflicts in our lives, or general challenges that we have in our lives. The lesser we are we are embroidered in these things that are happening with our life, the easier it gets to sleep better. Easier said than done, I know, and I totally empathize. जब एग्जाम चल रहा हो, जब when you are close to the exam, it's very very difficult to to manage your stress, or to say keep all these challenges, manage all these challenges in a better way and all these things, I know. But again, having a way forward for yourself where you're able to manage your stress and you're able to manage all these challenges that you might be facing in your life is the first step when it comes to sleeping better, right? Now let's come to the other things. So first is having a schedule. So a lot of people who are able to fall asleep really easily, most of them will tell you that they have a fixed time when they fall asleep. So a lot of people will tell you that okay, whenever it is 11 p.m., I am generally do not stay awake after 11 p.m. I go back to bed at 11 p.m. I fall asleep and I wake up at 5 a.m. almost automatically without an alarm. Why does this happen? Because over the years, they have trained their mind to sleep at a particular time and to wake up at a particular time. Right? So somebody has written circadian rhythm. While that is true, that most of us follow the circadian rhythm where we are more active in the daytime hours and we are less active at the nighttime hours, and that is why it is generally recommended that we should be sleeping at night, at least from 10 p.m. onwards till 5 till 4 a.m., 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. सबका prescription अलग अलग होता है, but generally इसके around रहता है, right? So while that is true that people do follow circadian rhythm, but when it comes to maintaining a routine in terms of sleep, it is also true that a lot of people are still able to maintain routine even if they do not have a very standard sleeping and waking up time. There are many entrepreneurs that you can find who would tell you that they sleep at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and they wake up at 11 a.m., but they are still productive. Or sleep even later and they wake up around 11 a.m. or 10 a.m., and they're still able to be productive. They're still achieving the things that they want to achieve. So while it is generally recommended that we should follow the circadian rhythm strategy, but there are also cases where even if you're not following a very fixed routine in terms of what is most recommended, but you might still be able to sleep better. If you are able to follow the other things that are there, you might still be able to train your mind to sleep at a particular time and wake up at a particular time and still have a good quality sleep during that period of time, right? So the important thing here is that we have a routine in the first place. If we keep changing our routine, okay, close to the exam, I'm sleeping at a particular time, I'm waking up at a particular time. Before that, I have a very different time. Before that, I have even a different time. And I'm throughout the year, I'm experimenting with different time schedules and all these things. This creates a problem. Our mind does not know when do I really want to fall asleep and when do I really want to get up. Right? So first things first, that we eventually need to come up with a time, we need to come up with a routine where we can train our minds to feel around this hour, like let's say 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Around this time, I want to be able to fall asleep, and around 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. I want to wake up. So training our minds towards that, right? So this is one of the strategies that you can experiment with. Another thing that hinders people when it comes to sleep and what they can do about is, so people who do everything on their bed, right? So a lot of our things that our mind in a lot of ways work in terms of associations. There are several associations that our mind forms, and it works in terms of those associations. So a lot of you might have noticed that whenever you go to watch a movie, when the interval happens, naturally you might feel like, I want to have a popcorn and cold drink while I'm watching the movie. Why? Because over time this has become the association that, watching a movie in a theater means that I need to have a popcorn and a cold drink with myself. And this reminds me that I need to take water. So just a minute, I'll have some water. Okay. Right. So so our mind tends to form certain associations, and it works depending on those associations. Now, for a lot of people, when they do everything on their bed, they want to study, they do it on the bed. They want to scroll on their social media, they do it on their bed. They want to watch something on their phones, they want to watch a movie or something, they do it on their bed. They want to eat food, they do it on their bed. They want to iron their clothes, they do it on the bed. Everything that happens in their lives, it happens on their bed, right? So now the mind is not able to form that connection between bed and sleep, right? So now that is why, because of associations that our mind forms, it is important that we reserve our bed for sleeping. And in case you're like you stay in a PG where you do not have sufficient space to to do other activities at other places, but at least have one particular corner of your bed which is dedicated only to sleep. So let's say if you want to fall, if you will, if you if that is time for you to fall asleep, you will turn towards your you will turn towards the right corner of the bed and you'll sleep there, while all the other activities that you want to do, you'll do it on the left corner. So at least the one particular corner is now associated with sleep, right? So this is something that you can still try while in order to create those associations which can help you to fall asleep better. Now, as we discussed that there, one of the issues that people face with respect to sleeping is that they think about their problems, right? So when we're actively thinking about the problems that we have and we're actively trying to find a solution, it becomes difficult for us naturally to fall asleep, right? And when we're continuously thinking about certain things, it happens in loops where almost we move from one point. Okay, I'm not, I could so let's say the thought that's initiated the loop was, I was not able to study well. I was not able to study well will lead to uh, I am not prepared enough for the exam, which leads to I will not crack this year's exam, which leads to I am a failure, which leads to my parents are disappointed, which leads to my parents will scold me even further, which leads to my parents will tell me that, okay, you you're just wasting your time. You are not you are not studying better. Okay, I will study better from tomorrow, but I'm not able to. I have not been able to study well since the past 4 5 days or however many days. Again, the cycle keeps on repeating. So we are going into loops, and this is called rumination, right? And in order to stop this rumination, and in order to stop our mind from actively searching those answers, this is a particular strategy that you can utilize, wherein you write down all your thoughts that are bothering you, right? So you write down all the things that are there, all these, whether these are negative thoughts, positive thoughts, whatever kind of thoughts there are. Just write down all the thoughts that are there and remind yourself that you will come back to these thoughts and these challenges in due time. So Akriti is saying extremely relatable. Okay. All right. So remind yourself that for now you're choosing to go to sleep, but in due time you will come back to these thoughts and these challenges and you will resolve these issues. Right. And ideally, fix a particular time in the day to think about these issues and resolve them. Right. So a lot of there are some sleep practitioners. So there are like experts who help you to like improve your sleep better. I was having a chat with one of them some time back, and this person was telling me that one of the strategies that he gives to his clients is that, like, after writing down all these thoughts, fix a particular time when you will come back to these thoughts. So let's say tomorrow after my breakfast, I'm allotting half an hour time where I'll only think about these thoughts. I'll not do anything else. What does this do? First of all, it helps your mind. So it's like, think of your mind as a child. एक छोटा बच्चा है, रो रहा है. That small child is crying, like, okay, like, these are, I want a candy, I want a candy. And that child is crying in front of you. That I want a candy, otherwise I'm not going to let you do anything else. What do you do? If you keep telling, like, if you keep telling the mind, okay, like, just, like, if you keep telling the child, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, the child will only keep on crying. Right? So instead of that, if you just simply tell your mind, or simply tell this child that, okay, like, right now I'm not carrying money to buy you this candy, but tomorrow at 10 a.m. We'll come back and we'll buy a candy for you. Isn't it like, is there a better possibility of the child to stop crying and to be able to like, console itself enough at least for the timing and wait for that period? Okay, like, the person has promised me that he will get me this candy that I really want, right? So similarly, even with our mind, if we keep telling our mind, okay, like, stop thinking about this, stop thinking about this, stop thinking about this, it only multiplies those thoughts. It never subtracts, or it never like, diminishes those thoughts. The more you tell yourself that, I do not want to think about this, the more thoughts you will have about this particular thing that you're trying to avoid. So instead of that, what you can do is you can simply tell yourself that, okay, like, right now I really need to fall asleep, and I've written down all these issues that are there in my mind, and I will come back to all of these issues tomorrow at x time that I've allotted for this thing. And actually give yourself that time to, like, to just think about them, to ponder something. Like, if you want to discuss those issues with somebody, go ahead and discuss those issues, and so on. Right? Just as we console a small child in a very polite manner, in a very respectful manner, in a very, like, loving manner, similarly we need to show the same love towards ourselves, towards our mind. I know it's not going to be very easy. Like, ऐसा नहीं होगा कि, like, you'll tell your mind, okay, like, we'll think about it tomorrow, and your mind will say, okay, okay, now you can go back to sleep. That will not happen overnight. But at least we can start making that change, and we can start experimenting with it, and see, like, if let's say, if earlier I was not able, like, if I was just lying in the bed for 3 hours and tossing and turning, probably by employing these strategies, that 3 hour time gap has reduced to now 2 hours, and over time it further reduces to 1 hour, and probably then I'm able to fall asleep at half an hour, because the mind also realizes, okay, like, if this person is telling me that they'll come back to this problem tomorrow at 10 a.m., then this person is actually doing that. Okay, so Shubham Kumar is saying, that's why I'm not able to sleep on bed, because after eating food, I lay down to relax and generally watch reels. For sleeping, I have to sleep on terrace. And I always think that I can't sleep on closed environment. Thank you, ma'am. Now I found the problem. Okay, all right. So, fixing a particular time in the day to resolve these issues. Additionally, what I'll add from my own experience and from my own self is that you can even ask your unconscious to help you find a solution to the problem that you're looking to the problem that you're looking a solution for. And how do you do this? You give a suggestion to your mind that as I sleep today, I request my unconscious mind to help me find the solution to the problem that I'm currently struggling with, in the form of a dream which I can remember and which I can understand and decode to understand what the message is. Now, before I come to why this works, or like, if I go into a little bit of discussion into the unconscious mind and how this particular technique works. So basically, in psychology, we understand that our mind has a very, very small component of the conscious mind and a very, very large component of the unconscious mind. And in general, it is said that most of our lives most of our life is being controlled by the unconscious mind, right? So our heart is breathing, we're not consciously, sorry, our heart is beating, and we're not consciously making that happen, right? I'm breathing, I'm not consciously making that happen. I'm talking, I'm doing that consciously, but all the other things that are happening within my body, most of them are beyond my conscious mind, right? And our conscious mind is powerful enough to create a lot of negative experiences for us. It is also powerful enough for creating a lot of positive experiences for us. And a lot of creative people actually use their unconscious mind to be able to come up with creative solutions, right? So we can even ask our unconscious mind to help us create a dream while we're sleeping, which has certain messages for us, which we can remember and recall. And if we decode those dreams for ourselves, uh, we can have certain solutions for our issues also, right? So this is another strategy that you can employ. You can test. This is one of the strategies that one of my mentor, Nitin Shah, has talked about in one of his videos that he had posted a long time back. Right? Okay. So now, if you are studying before sleeping, some things to keep in mind. First is don't study subjects which evoke certain emotions within you, right? So let's say for some people, it might be true that whenever they read about societal challenges, whenever they read about the challenges that there are in the society, they tend to feel very hopeless. That they tend to feel okay, there's so many problems in the world. How will we overcome these things? For some people, it could be reading about environmental issues that they feel the world is just going to end, nobody will survive, and things are just going so bad, nobody's taking care of anything, and so on, right? So when our mind is reading about these kinds of things, it again evokes certain emotions within us, which might again disable ourselves from falling back to sleep. So ideally, before when you're sleep or before you are going to bed, you should if you unless until you have an exam which is very close to you, then it's a different matter. Then you study whatever you need to study. But in general, uh, try studying with more theoretical portions, which are slightly boring and which are slightly boring, which and boring is reading something which is boring is a good way to help you to fall experience that passivity and be able to sleep better, right? So doing any kind of revision, reading things that you find a little bit boring, where you can you don't mind that, okay, like if I fall asleep, I'll fall asleep while reading all of that. So that is still fine. In fact, that is if you really have to study till late at night, do this. That you study and you allow yourself to fall asleep as you're studying. That might be a good strategy for many of you. For a lot of people, they find history very boring, and they feel that every time I open the history book, I fall asleep immediately. Employ that as a strategy to fall asleep at night. Every night, open your history book, start reading history book. One page gone, and you're falling asleep already, right? So now this also comes to another point: boredom. Boredom is another very, very important, very uh, unique strategy for falling asleep. Why? Because boredom uh, brings out that passivity. आप बोर तभी हो रहे होगे जब आप पैसिव होगे तो नींद आई जाएगी, right? So find ways where you can feel bored. So let's say doing certain household chores. Let's say you have a lot of clothes lying around your bed, and you have a lot of books kept all over your room, and just like just doing those just clearing all those out, maintain getting them into a pile and all these things. Sometimes just simply doing these things can help you induce that boredom, and which can help you to clear your declutter your mind, and which can help you to fall asleep. So this works because and there's one word of caution: don't put a background music. Don't put a background music while you're sleep while you are doing these household chores, especially if you're doing those household chores in order to fall asleep, right? Why? Because if you're listening to very very loud music, or music which is very which is something which you really enjoy, and which is very high beat and all these things, again it's putting you into a state of activity rather than passivity, right? So don't put on any music. If you really have to put on some music, put on some classical music, some instrumental music, or some classical ragas or something, which can help you to induce that state of passivity. So any rag for that matter, any rag which you can which can help you to simply calm down, and which can help you to relax, and which is not exciting you in any way, right? Or creating any kind of emotional it's any emotional turbulence within you. So any of those will help. I used to listen to uh, one was Rag Pancham, and there was another one. I think I also listened to Rag Darbari once, and it was very very soothing for me to, and it was very helpful for me to fall asleep, right? So again, like coming back to the point of boredom, so you can induce boredom by sleeping. You can induce boredom by reading books that are not interesting, right? So for people who say कि अच्छा मुझे history नहीं पसंद, read history. For people who say मुझे economics नहीं पसंद, read economics. For people who say uh, what else, मुझे environment नहीं पसंद, read environment, and fall asleep, right? Or do anything which induces boredom. Let's say deep breathing. A lot of people tell me that when they try to meditate they fall asleep. भाई अगर आपको नींद नहीं आ रही तो अब यही कर लो ना. Try to meditate and fall asleep, right? So for people who feel that they feel very very sleepy and they're not able to do meditation because they fall asleep, if you're facing sleep challenges, do meditation. Best way to fall asleep. And do a lying meditation, right? And there's also that thing in yoga. There's what is that thing called? Uh, Not able to recall that name. Anyway, I'll come back to that. So now, yes, you can do pranayam, of course. What is that thing called? I'm not able to. Yog Nidra. Yes, yes. Thank you, Akriti. So you can even try Yog Nidra, a good way to fall asleep. Some people find it difficult to fall asleep while they're doing Yog Nidra, but once they're done, once they've completed the process, in general, it becomes easier for them to fall asleep. Another thing that you can do is guided meditation. There are many them on YouTube. You can find many sleep meditations out there, and you can put on those sleep meditations. You can lie down on bed and listen to those sleep meditations. But there is one caution when it comes to listening to any kind of meditation. Do not listen or do not practice guided meditations when you're experiencing negative thoughts or any negative emotional experience. Unless you are doing a spiritual sadhana, let's say, and your and your whoever is teaching, your spiritual teacher has knows about the challenges that you're going through, and they have expressly told you that you can continue doing that, right? Unless your spiritual teacher is guiding you through it. So that is an exception where, like, if your spiritual teacher, whoever that person is, has told you that you can continue doing so, that is fine. But otherwise, in general, if you're doing it on your own, avoid doing it. Avoid doing any kinds of guided meditations when you are especially experiencing a lot of negativity and a lot of negative emotions or negative thoughts. Why? Because again, when it like coming back to the structure of mind, there's the conscious mind, the unconscious mind. For simplicity, I'm just bifurcating the mind into these two aspects: conscious mind, subconscious mind. Then between them, there's a critical filter, which filters what kind of information will go from the conscious mind to the unconscious mind. Now, when we are meditating, this critical filter becomes very fuzzy. So it allows a lot of things which are happening in the conscious mind to go into the unconscious mind, and for the things in the unconscious mind to come to surface into the conscious mind. Right? So when this critical filter is very fuzzy and you're experiencing a lot of emotional thoughts and emotional experiences, and you're thinking very, very negative things about yourself, there's a high probability that these thoughts will seep into the unconscious mind, and then those negative life patterns and those those things which uh, wherein we are not able to control, while we want to do certain things, we are still not able to do. Why? Because the unconscious mind is stopping us from doing certain things. All these kinds of things start happening because all these negative thoughts get seeped into the negative thoughts, negative emotions, negative experiences start getting into the unconscious mind. Right? So this is a general word of caution. But in general, if you're generally just not able to fall asleep, but you're not experiencing very, very negative emotions or very, very negative things, at that particular point of time, then you can listen to guided meditations. Then that is perfectly fine. Okay. Uh, yes, so I'm just writing it additionally. So there are also specific music that you can listen to. One is Marconi Union's Weightless, something which has generally been recommended. It works sometimes, it doesn't work sometimes, it works for certain people, it doesn't work for certain people. All of that is there. But if you want to experiment, you can experiment with that. Again, classical ragas, any classical raga which is soothing, which is instrumental, you can listen to that. Any soft instrumental music might also be a good uh, aid for you to be able to fall asleep. But do not make it a practice that only if you listen to these things will you be able to fall asleep. Don't make unnecessary associations. Using them once in a while, using them for some specific period of time, it's fine. Don't make it a habit out of it. Otherwise, what if we are at a place where we do not have access to these things? Do we want to disable ourselves from sleeping? No, right? Uh, Yes. So now another way of entering passivity is a 1-2-1-2 technique, which is basically you lie down on the bed, you close your eyes, you inhale, you mentally count one, you exhale, you mentally count two, and this keeps on repeating. So inhale one, exhale two, inhale one, exhale two, inhale one, exhale two, and you do it until you naturally fall asleep. Now, why this works is because you are focusing only on your breath, first of all, and it is a very passive activity to do. It's very boring, it's very passive activity to do, that you're just focusing on your breath and you're just mentally counting one, mentally counting two. Don't speak those words, don't loudly say 1-2-1-2. Just in your mind, just keep counting 1-2-1-2, because it is naturally very boring, very like passive, and something something where again, for a lot of people, when they're trying to focus on something, that is the best way to for them to feel distracted and fall asleep. So implementing one of those strategies here, right? Another way to induce passivity is, imagine that you are in a garden with an endless road in the middle. So imagine that you're in a garden and it has a road in the middle which is going on endlessly and you're walking on that road. So just imagine that you're walking on this road. Just notice the garden that is there around you. What are the trees? What are the flowers that are there? What are the fruits that are there? Are there any smells that you can smell? What does the weather look like? And all these things. Just keep on noticing the garden and just keep walking on the road. It helps because again, it's a very soft kind of way to focus our attention to one place where we're just imagining a garden and a road, and we're not actively imagining it. We're just allowing our mind to come up with a garden and come up with a road, and we're just simply noticing whatever our unconscious mind has come up with. And we're simply noticing, okay, this there's a road that I'm going into, and there's a garden around me, and so on. And naturally and slowly, it drifts us into a state of dream, where we were earlier imagining things, to now we drift into a place where we're dreaming and where we are sleeping, and the cycle of sleep, naturally starts happening, right? So these are another two activities that again my mentor Nitin Shah had recommended in one of his videos. These are another two things that you can do and you can try for yourself, right? So these are the strategies that I wanted to discuss. If there are any particular things that you want me to talk about, you can ask me and I'll share more about it. Otherwise, we can close. Or if you have any other general questions also, then you can go ahead and ask me.
मैम आई हैड अ क्वेश्चन ड्यूरिंग एग्जाम्स मतलब रात में तो आ जाती है नींद पर बीच में से 2-3 बजे स्लीप ब्रेक हो जाती है एंड देन फिर मुझे पढ़ना रहता है मतलब हो जाती है प्रिपरेशन उसके बाद भी.
Okay. So again, the idea is कि अगर आपकी नींद खुल भी रही है तो we again need to come back to that state of passivity if you want to continue sleeping. अगर आपको उसके बाद पढ़ना है तो it is a different matter. But अगर आपको if you want to continue sleeping, you want to enter a state of passivity. Best way to do is do this 1-2-1-2 technique or do this garden wala technique.
ओके मैम मतलब फिर पढ़ने के बाद में थोड़ी देर बाद तो आ जाती है नींद पर वही होता है कि हर बार ऐसा ही होता है ब्रेक हो जाती है स्लीप साइकिल बाकी नॉर्मल डेज पे सही टाइम पे सो जाती हूँ.
इन जनरल इट इज ऑल्सो रिकमेंडेड कि जब आपका एग्जाम आ रहा हो तो अगर आप 10 बजे सोते हो या लेट्स से अगर आप 12 बजे सोते हो तो गो टू बेड अ लिटिल अर्ली. कि अगर बीच में नींद खुलती भी है, इफ यू हैव अ पैटर्न ऑफ दिस थिंग हैपनिंग विद यू दैट यू वेक अप इन द मिडल ऑफ द नाइट एंड यू आर नॉट एबल टू स्लीप फॉर सम टाइम एंड देन यू स्टडी एंड देन यू आर एबल टू फॉल asleep. ये अगर पैटर्न एंड if it is disturbing your sleep, you can also do this thing that you sleep 1 or 2 hours early. Allow that sleep pattern and all these things to happen a little earlier than usual. तो आपके पास भी टाइम होगा कि ठीक है चलो अभी अगर मैं 3 बजे रात में नींद खुलती थी, 4 बजे तक मुझे पढ़ना पड़ता था, then I used to fall asleep and then I used to wake up at 6:30. So now I'm falling asleep earlier. 1 a.m. I'll wake up, my sleep state will break at 1 a.m. I'll study for some time till 2 a.m., let's say, and I'll fall back asleep and I'll be able to wake up at 6:30 feeling far more fresh and far more relaxed. So you can try that also. Try adjusting the timings or try, you can simply try this passivity technique. In general, it works.
ओके मैम थैंक यू मैम.
मैम नींद तो लेट से ही आ जाती है, लेकिन मैम सुबह के टाइम आईज क्लोज रहती, लेकिन ड्रीम्स देखना हो जैसे कि वो रियल में हो रही है. Yes, so this is a very common experience with a lot of people. Uh, there are people who experience the dreams as if those dreams are happening in reality. Uh, there's two parts to it. One is that if those dreams are just dreams and okay, I'm dreaming and these are not causing any significant distress to you, then it's fine. Even if it is happening, it is happening. It's fine. If it is causing any type of distress within your life, if you're not if you're let's say these dreams are causing some troubles in certain aspects of your life, where let's say for some time in the morning you're just not able to be oriented towards the present, and you're not able to function in your best manner. If that happens and if that continues to happen for a significant period of time, then it might be a good idea to look for a mental health professional and talk to them about the issue. even with the sexual dreams, it's a very, very common dream to happen. Most of us would have at some point of our lives had a dream where they, like, where they might, where the theme of the dream is something sexual. All of that is very common to happen. Again, like, I'll come back to the same thing. If it is happening and if it happens once or twice and you are fine with it, then it's not a problem. If it happens continuously and if you're getting bothered by it, a good idea would be to see a mental health professional for that. Others?
Yes. Good evening, ma'am. First of all,
Mhm.
thank you for this session. मुझे मैम ये इशू आ रही है ना कि मैं रात को चाहे 8 to 9 hours सोऊं या 4 या 5 घंटे, मुझे दोपहर को हमेशा नींद आती है। तो मुझे क्या करना चाहिए दोपहर को? शुड आई पुश माई सेल्फ टू नॉट टू गेट टू स्लीप और शुड आई गो टू स्लीप एट द नून?
Okay, so
दिस इज
first
माई
of all, what is the quality of sleep that you have at night?
It is perfect, ma'am. I am
Okay.
getting enough sleep in the night.
Okay. So one of the reasons why you might be falling asleep at afternoons, one could be there's a chance that you might be dehydrated at that point of time, or any other physical distress might be there. So like, so for me, it personally happened that I was like, I realized that I tend to get low BP during sometime during 4 p.m. And especially when I'm intensely studying for some exam or something, that is the time when I used to experience that more often. I'm not saying this will be the perfect explanation for you. I'm just saying these kinds of reasons could also be there. So a good idea might be to just get a general health checkup. People with low vitamin D levels, they also feel drowsy towards the afternoon. That might also, like, these kinds of issues. So there could be certain physical health reasons associated why we're falling asleep at that point of time. A good idea would be to get a health checkup regarding that. Another thing that you can do is that you can get sunlight exposure in the morning. So that again, that helps you to get back into the circadian rhythm, and that might help you to be able to manage that sleep, that drowsiness better. The third reason might be that because you're continuously studying, so the and mind is getting, is getting almost bored because of the studies, and it enters a state of passivity, which is making you fall asleep. So in that case, if you really want to wake up and, if you have taken care of all the other issues, that there are no health concerns associated, you have taken care of all the other things, then you can even do this thing that you instead of reading something and just revising and reading something passively, you can do certain more active activities at that time. So let's say solving PYQs or writing answers at that point of time, or something where you're more active, where you're using your mind more rather than just simply reading something or simply attending a class. uh, there was one more thing that I was thinking about, which was, I forgot, sorry. फिलहाल इतने ही
No,
है मेरे,
no
अभी
matter.
एक और कुछ
Thank
था
you.
मेरे दिमाग में, but I somehow forgot.
Thank
Okay,
you, ma'am.
somebody has
Great
sent
help.
me a not doing that. Why is it not something? सुबह मैम, सुबह उठते ही body is fatigued. After taking sunlight exposure, I have headache. Check the time that you are having the sunlight exposure. If you are having it at a time when the sun is high up in the sky, it will lead to a headache. A good way might be to have a early morning sun exposure if you want to have it. Another thing that you want to take care of is hydrate yourself well before you go out into the sunlight. Sometimes, because, when we go to sleep and in the morning when we wake up, it is a very long period of time. मतलब 6-7 घंटे हो जाते हैं कई बार, and in that 6 to 7 hours, sometimes we get very dehydrated. And then उसी dehydrated state में अगर आप sunlight में जाओगे, तो that headache is very natural to happen. So have a glass of water. If you want to add some, make it like if you want to have a lemon with it, if you want to add some salts into it, do that, and then have that glass of water and then go into the sunlight. I think, most likely this will resolve the issues. If it still continues, a good idea would be to go to a doctor and check up and have a checkup. There's one. Okay. दिन में easily नींद आ जाती है मैम, but not during night. Okay. ठीक है. Again, if this is the case where you can fall asleep at in the morning and not at night, check what is happening within your mind during those 2 periods. जब आपको दोपहर में नींद आ रही है, तब आप ऐसा क्या कर रहे हो, which is helping you fall asleep at that point of time, एंड रात को जब नींद नहीं आ रही है तब आप ऐसा क्या कर रहे हो या कैसा क्या चीज दिमाग में चल रही है विच इज स्टॉपिंग यू. रिवर्स दोस टू. लेट्स से रात में आपको इसलिए नींद नहीं आ रही बिकॉज यूर कंटिन्यूसली थिंकिंग अबाउट कि एग्जाम नहीं निकला तो क्या होगा, ऐसा नहीं हुआ तो क्या होगा, रिलेशनशिप खराब होगी तो क्या होगा, चाचा जी जमीन खरीद के चले गए, मतलब जमीन हड़प के चले गए तो क्या होगा. जस्ट जस्ट लाइक इन अ वेरी joking manner I've said this, please don't take an offense of this. So मतलब वो चीज की the point that I'm trying to highlight is कि अगर आप वरी कर रहे हो रात के समय which is stopping you from falling asleep, on the other hand अगर आप पढ़ाई कर रहे हो दोपहर के समय which is helping you fall asleep better, reverse that too. जो उन्होंने वरी टाइम मैंने वो suggest किया था ना that you write down all these thoughts and you tell yourself I'll come back to that, assign that time to that particular hour when you want to stay away and do all the boring padhai wali cheez which makes you fall asleep at that time when you want to fall asleep, and during the day do more active things when it comes to studying. So we'll also have a webinar on helping you with memory consolidation, how you can do that better. In that we'll discuss certain active ways of studying rather than just passively reading your books. So we'll also discuss certain active ways of studying. Implement those strategies in the daytime which will help you to be a little more active. मैम ओवरथिंकिंग बहुत होती है, मोस्टली टाइम इज नेगेटिव थॉट्स. अगेन वन इज राइट डाउन थॉट्स दैट यू आर हैविंग, टेल योरसेल्फ we'll come back to this problem. You can even ask your unconscious for an insight into the problem, and we'll also have a webinar on overthinking. So you have many options to choose from. Okay, any other thing that anyone else wants to discuss? Otherwise we'll close. Okay. All right. So earlier somebody had even had asked me ki, what are the when these group batches will start. So these group batches will be starting from the 3rd week of September. Okay. So the Saturday batch is beginning from 21st September, and the Sunday batch is beginning from 22nd September. All right. So I'll cut this portion out where I've discussed about the changes in the group and the group counseling session and the other things. So I'll cut this out and I'll address this. I'll add this as a separate video in the group so that others can also refer to this. Yeah. For if there are any other questions related to sleep or related to the group counseling session or anything else that you want to discuss, you can use right now. And we have 3 more minutes to discuss. Otherwise, I'll close. No more questions? Okay. Ma'am, will there be any group session after means? Yes, there will be group sessions after means 2024 also. So this is the first batch that the first group batches that I'm announcing. So these are the 2 group batches that I've these are the 2 group batches that I'm announcing right now. We'll also have other batches in the future. But abhi wala jo price hai, that might not be repeated in the future. The prices might change, but the group batches might still continue. Ma'am, ghost fear when I am alone in night. Okay, so again, if you are having, so okay, are you talking about क्या बोलते हैं उसको? Are you talking about like those scary dreams? Okay, so are you talking about those dreams where which having those ghosts and everything in terms of dreams, or are you talking in terms of the general fear about ghosts at night? And depending on that, I can help you find a solution better. So nightmares versus actually having that fear of ghosts. Oh, before I close, there's one important thing that I want to talk about with respect to sleep, which is when it comes to sleep medication. There might be some of you who might be taking certain sleep medications to sleep better. First things first, do not self-medicate, even if somebody is telling you that, okay, this is just a supplement. This is only a melatonin supplement. It will only help you to sleep better. It's not going to create any negative changes or whatever. Do not self-medicate when it comes to sleep medication or any kind of medication for that matter. Especially anything which has a any psychological connotation. Do not self-medicate. Right? if let's say your psychiatrist or any other medical professional has recommended that you take a sleeping pills, follow the protocol that your mental health professional or medical professional has given you. If you have issues with respect to falling like if you feel that okay, like I might be getting addictive to these sleeping pills, tell your medical health expert. They will guide you into what you can do to phase out of those medicines and to come out of those medicines. So always follow the protocol that your doctor has given you. Do not ओवर मेडिकेट, लाइक उनने आपको दिया था 1 महीने के लिए, आपको लगा कि अच्छा 1 महीने मैंने लेके देखा है, मुझे बहुत अच्छा फील हो रहा है, तो नाउ आई एम कंटिन्यूइंग फॉर 6 months. डू नॉट डू दैट. और लेट्स से उन्होंने आपको 6 महीने के लिए दिया था, आपने 2-3 महीने किया, नाउ यू फील कि आपको एडिक्शन सा फील होने लगा कि शायद मैं एडिक्टेड हो रहा हूँ इस चीज से, एंड देन यू ऑटोमेटिकली स्टॉप वन रैंडम दैट यू थॉट, एंड इट इज कॉजिंग अनदर सेट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स. सो डू नॉट डू एनी ऑफ दिस. जो भी आपको जो भी प्रोटोकॉल दिया गया है उसको आप फॉलो करो. आपको प्रोटोकॉल में कुछ भी दिक्कत हो, आप अपने डॉक्टर से बात करो. राइट. हैविंग सेड दिस, अगर आपको स्लीप मेडिकेशन दी गई है, it is only helping you, it is only a short term strategy. It is a good idea that while you are employing that short term strategy to resolve your sleep issues, it is still a good idea that you see a mental health professional, especially a counselor, like a therapist or a sleep expert who can help you fall asleep better. So there are therapists who can help you with that. There are sleep experts also who specialize in helping you fall, who specialize in helping you get a better quality sleep. So take their help so that you can take care of the underlying issues that are stopping you from falling asleep. Right. So these are some questions that I wanted to talk about. So now coming back here, ma'am, some people are entering into group and creating nuisance. Please take care of that. Yes, I am. Like I will be doing that. In fact, I'm not going to open the group chat for quite some time at least. And the number of hours that the group chat will be open for all will be restricted from now onwards. And I'll try to be as vigilant in the group as possible. Right? Okay. So and ma'am, in night various voices come when okay, I think I will be speaking to you about this later, after the session, because it's a more personal query that you're asking. I'll address this part separately with you, in the session that we'll be talking about. Okay. So yes. Again, in general, if you are facing any very specific and very peculiar kind of issue where you feel this is not something which is a general experience, it is a good idea that you visit a mental health professional, a therapist, a counselor, or somebody who can help you understand, who can help you get rid of those issues, right? तो अगर कुछ भी ऐसी चीज हो रही है जहाँ जो which is out of the ordinary, जो normally ऐसा नहीं हो रहा होता but हो रहा है somehow, a good idea is to visit a mental health professional and seek their guidance, right? And on that note, I will be closing this webinar. Thank you all of you for attending this webinar. I hope you found this fruitful, and the next webinar that I'm doing will be on, the next one was on time management. So time management, consistency, all these issues we'll be taking up in the next session. I hope to see all of you there. Have a good night. Bye-bye. So I'll be putting up the recording. I'll try to put it up tomorrow itself, but Monday tak to, I definitely by Monday I'll put it up, but just on a safer side, I'll try to do it. Okay, chalo, bye bye. Stop the recording.